Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. So, I want to speak to you today about some of the things that we can do that can help us to have a more balanced throat chakra. The throat chakra is associated with communication. Well, it's one of the things that is to do with the throat chakra is communication and expression. And so I want to go into that today. I've been thinking a lot about this because we recently had a Mercury retrograde, and Mercury is the planet of communication. And usually, for me personally, during a Mercury retrograde, things do tend to come up where I will notice that I may need to change the way that I communicate with people. And so I thought that this might be a helpful video, because if we can learn to sort of practice right speech, to communicate better, to be more honest, I think it can help to balance the throat chakra. So the demon of this chakra is said to be lies, okay? So let's speak about the importance of being honest and being truthful. Now, lying can be a very obvious thing, yeah, when you're just obviously lying about something, or you know that you're being lied to about something. And then other times, lying is a very subtle thing, okay, such as denial. And I think a lot of people do struggle with denial. We don't always know when we are lying to ourselves about something. Now, I've been in a situation myself personally where I experienced this, okay, where I was lying to myself. And I think that an example that everyone probably, or most people can probably relate to, is like when you have been involved with someone or been in a relationship with someone who isn't treating you very well, and even though it may be crystal clear to everybody around you that this person is mistreating you, that this person is being abusive towards you, what you do is you tend to make up excuses for that person, okay? And you may even think to yourself that it's not them, that it's you, that you are to blame in some way, and that you need to change something about yourself in order to improve that relationship, yeah? And so you continue to make up excuses for this person, and you tell these people no, they're wrong, that it's not like that. And why do we do that? Okay, why do we do that? So I got thinking about this, because I found myself to be in this situation, and I asked myself, well, what is it? What am I so afraid of? Why was it so difficult for me to confront the truth about that situation at that time? And for me personally, I found it was because I felt that if I faced up to the truth about what was really happening, it would mean that I would have to make a change, that I would have to make a different decision. So I was really avoiding that, because making a change would mean that I wouldn't know what is going to happen next. It would mean stepping into the unknown, which can be a very scary thing. So by avoiding making a different decision, it meant that I could avoid a more painful situation. So it was all about avoidance of pain for me, because I had convinced myself that if this is really what is going on and I face up to that, I'm going to be forced to make a different decision. And that could mean that I end up in a far worse and more painful situation that I'm in compared to now. So for that reason, I avoided facing the truth for a very long time, okay? So that can be the reason why it can be difficult to admit something to ourselves, okay? Because we are just simply afraid to make a change, okay, which is a scary thing. Another situation where we struggle, okay, to be honest, is when it comes to family situations, okay, because family teaches us loyalty, um, what can end up happening is that we could end up, out of our loyalty towards a family member, we could end up being being dishonest, okay, about something, or not being honest with them. And an example is that when you have a family member that could be very heavily reliant on you, okay, so they're quite codependent and they rely on you a great deal for assistance with things, yeah. And so you find it very difficult to say no to that person, okay, when you continue to say yes when really you need to be able to say no to that person. And of course, it might be because you feel that, you know, you're going to hurt that person if you're honest with them. But in a situation like that, you really have to ask yourself, are you really helping that person? Okay, by continuing to say yes to everything, are you really helping that person? Because it could be that all you're doing is just enabling a situation, okay, where by you continuing to say yes, you're just allowing that person to keep relying on you, and therefore you are hindering their own growth and their ability to be more independent, which is what they may really need to do, okay? So it can be very difficult in these situations to be honest. And the thing is that this is where we are losing integrity, okay? So by not being honest and by not being able to say no to that person, you are losing your integrity, okay? And that means that really, I see that as like a form of self-betrayal, okay, which translates into a lack of self-love. When you have a balanced heart chakra, okay, there isn't this kind of basically, when your heart chakra is balanced, you're not helping people because you feel like as though you need to be charitable or you need to do the right thing or you want to be seen to be a good person, okay, doing good things for other people. It's not about that, okay? That can actually come from a place of ego when we're doing that. So it's important, therefore, to have the energies of the heart chakra balanced as well, because then the way you express the energy in the throat chakra will change, okay, and be more balanced. So you will find that when these energies are balanced, you are helping other people from a place that feels a lot more natural, okay? It's not because you're trying to do the right thing, but what happens is because you are in harmony with all of life, you will be a natural expression of divinity. And through that, you naturally serve other people, you naturally help other people, okay? So it's supposed to be a much more organic process, okay? Also think about situations where you may not be being truthful because of some kind of insecurity that you have, okay? Sometimes we are dishonest towards others because we don't want to reveal our insecurities. We don't want to be vulnerable with them, yeah? So basically, you know, like in romantic relationships, okay, you may not want the other person to know about your insecurities, and what you may find that you do instead, because you're not having honest and open communication with that person, you will end up misleading that person, or you will end up manipulating that person, okay? So look at where you might be doing that, whether it's either out of a fear of something or for some kind of a personal gain. Okay. Okay, so also you could be someone that is generally a very honest person and you have no difficulty being honest with people. But however, sometimes there is a particular person, and when that person is around you, it just causes you to kind of shut down a little bit or close up, and you feel like as though you just can't be honest with them. For some reason, you just can't be upfront with that person. And why is that? Okay, what is it that you're afraid of when you're around this person? So this is something that I can relate to, and I actually found that in the last Mercury retrograde we had, that somebody I personally really struggle with when it comes to communicating honestly and being assertive with. This person popped into my life after a very long time of not being around. So I kind of saw that as an opportunity for me to now grow out of this, you know, to change this. So you want to see if there is someone that you do feel uncomfortable around, that you just can't be honest with, and ask yourself why. What is it that you're afraid of? Are you afraid that you're going to offend this person in some way? Are you afraid they're going to reject you? Are you afraid they're going to criticize you? Because these are all things that you need to examine in you, okay? And then be able to change the way you communicate with this person. Also look at the way that you communicate. So are you someone who perhaps is too soft and gentle, yeah, and you need to be more firm with your tone, you need to be more assertive, yeah? Or you could be somebody who is quite assertive, but you use quite harsh words and you're very aggressive in your language, in your tone. And again, going back to the heart chakra here, so if the energies are balanced in the heart, again, the way you communicate will change, okay? So when you need to be assertive with someone, you will do that, but you won't do it in such an aggressive or harsh manner, okay? Because it's not going to be coming from this kind of irritated or hateful place, okay? It will come from a more compassionate and empathic place, and so therefore that you then have that ability to assert yourself still with that person, to be firm with them, but to be doing it in a more loving way, because it's a completely different energy then. And sometimes, you know, sometimes we need to use less words, okay? Sometimes, depending on who we're communicating with, we need to communicate differently. So, for example, it could be that you need to keep your words to a minimum and use more actions to communicate the message that you want to. So a very cheesy example of this is like with your partner. Let's say you don't find them very supportive around the house, and you nagging at them is just not getting that message through, okay? Nagging never works, okay? So you have to find a different way to communicate to this person that you need more support. Well, one of the ways that you can do that is just by stop doing everything. Stop doing all the things that you know you need help with, but you do them, you know, anyway. You keep doing them, and then you keep nagging your partner that they're not helping you. So in that kind of situation, you need to then do less, right? Or let's talk about children, yeah? Children respond better to actions as well sometimes, rather than your words, okay? So we can end up sounding a nag towards our kids as well. So I've personally learned that the best way to get a child to follow an instruction is to use minimum amount of words, and instead use your actions, because in that situation actions are going to speak louder than words. Okay, and by the way, by actions, I'm not talking about anything like punishing them by hitting or smacking or anything like that. Okay, sometimes it can mean putting a consequence in place, just acting, on the situation, taking something, or whatever, um, making a decision basically about something, okay, as a consequence, rather than just yelling at them and screaming at them and repeating the same words over and over and over again, which just doesn't help. Okay, and it's just going to make your throat chakra really, really poorly. So also you want to look at other ways in which you can express yourself. So especially during a Mercury retrograde, because things tend to slow down, people end up getting mixed messages, information can end up getting misinterpreted. Sometimes people just take things the wrong way. And so sometimes it is a good time to communicate in a different way, okay, to what you normally would. And you know what, that could be maybe getting more in touch with your creative side, like writing poetry or making some art, to express yourself. Sometimes to show your appreciation towards somebody, you could buy them a gift or take them out to dinner, yeah, or use your body more to communicate rather than your words. Okay, sometimes that can be more effective during those times. Okay. So yeah, talking of using less words, we do sometimes just need to talk less so that we can become better listeners. This video is getting a little bit long, so what I will do is I will speak more about that, more about listening, and a couple of other things, gossiping, as well as the importance of being authentic. I'll speak about those things in the next video. Okay, so I hope you found the information in this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.